Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are back for another one of our Patreon campaign episodes. We are playing Cypher Systems, Gods of the Fall. This campaign is called The Rise. And with me here are a bunch of our lovely, wonderful, amazing patrons. That being said, if you guys like what we do here on the channel and you want to support us, Patreon is the best way to do that. Hence, this overlay. Link for that down below. You can also join us in our Discord and be a part of the community and chat with us about all the cool games you see and want to see. Link also down below. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, I get to do what the hell I want to these players. And two, every single dollar that goes into that goes back to helping us do awesome rad shit on the channel. That being said, let's jump into this game. I'm going to be extra. Wait for it.
Previously, on The Rise, a seemingly crazed man convinced four strangers inside a tavern known as the Carrick would aid him in a mission of the utmost importance. Calling them divine and redeemers, he begged for their help protecting a woman who was in the throes of labor from an encroaching evil. With varying levels of reluctance, these four strangers set off to a task they barely believed in, until they found themselves under siege in the ruins of an old keep.
That's where you find you guys. You guys are in the ruins of an old keep. The last thing we saw was that Mina was outside of the castle gates, the keep's gates, all alone, after having just stabbed several men to death with a spear, while Korax stood on the battlements, just looking, while Octavia stood on the other battlements, firing arrows down, and Seydlitz stood behind the old, one of the old buildings, firing bolts, crossbow bolts into the chests of these men. We saw a bibliomancer step out of the shadows. Or, more aptly described, the shadows moved aside for him, and he began chanting. The pages began to flip and spin, lights and this dark purple miasma began to swirl around him, and the shadows inside the walls of the keep began to peel themselves off of the walls. Seydlitz, you see this firsthand as you are the lowest person inside the walls. You see these shadows peel off like wallpaper almost, and they hit the ground. They kind of undulate and sort of move in this almost like tumbling mass as they form this vaguely humanoid amorphous shape. It's kind of like, it almost looks like gooey, where it takes a step forward and you see pieces of it trail behind it, and the form kind of falls over itself, but every time it moves, it regrows into this vaguely humanoid form. And as you look on in terror, because you've never seen one of these before, you kind of see this thing and you do a scan of the area and you see that there are 6 of these things that have slowly peeled themselves off of the walls as the bibliomancer in the background begins to chant, and more of this miasmic smoke billows out of his book and courses in circles around his feet. That being said, what are you guys doing?
So Mina will step in between the bibliomancer and the gate and say, "Hold, gentle scholar. The keep is not accepting visitors today."
Okay. I see what you're doing here. Are you trying to persuade him to not do that, or are you just having a cheeky quip here?
No, he's genuinely thinking that maybe he can convince this guy to go away.
Yeah, okay. Roll me, let's see here. Mina, roll me it's going to be intellect. Actually, you have an inability in social interactions, so it's going to be that one. So your inability in social interactions, you can give me a difficulty 5. And we'll see what happens as we have the first roll of the night. Yeah, that's a failure. You beat a difficulty 2. Not a 5. What you hear is you see this hooded figure in this like purple and gold etched robe. You see again the smoke is billowing out of his book, swirling around him. You see him take a step forward, another step, and this cloud sort of moves with him as if he is like the center point of this hurricane. And you hear him speak, or at least you assume that it is in fact him speaking, because you hear echoing across the courtyard.
You try to use special effects. There we go. You hear him say, "Leave now, if you value your lives. This is not the fight for you."
Minya will shake his head and take in a defensive stance and say, "We're not going anywhere."
Okay. I dig it. You all hear this, I believe. Seydlitz, have you said anything about these freaky goo creatures that are peeling themselves off the walls?
Seydlitz probably has not. He's probably too busy assessing the situation. He's just been offered an out, so he's thinking about it right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you recall having come in here, the only way out is that portcullis to which Mina stands in front of, and you'd have to run past Mina and past the bibliomancer. Or jump over the walls and see how that goes. Those are your only 2 points of exit. But while you ponder fleeing, Korax and Octavia, what are you doing?
So Korax's last position was next to the portcullis. He had
that's right.
And ran to the gate.
Yes.
He would shout to the 2 people that raise and lower the portcullis to start raising it, ready to bring Mina back in.
Okay. They snap back to reality and they begin to moving this thing up.
And Korax would shout through, "Mina, time to move back in the walls. Back up slowly."
Okay. Octavia, you are still on the walls. What are you doing?
I'm going to take a shot at him.
At the bibliomancer?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, fire that arrow. It will be a difficulty 5 shoot in the face check.
All right, then. What am I supposed to...
I'm excited to see what happens. So on your character sheet, you should be able to click on... for you, it would be... you can roll me a speed attack, right? Because it's an arrow. So it'd be speed 5. See if I can fix your sheet on the fly. No, unfortunately, you rolled a 5, which is not nearly enough to do a hit here. Okay, so yeah, what happens is, listen, you have a short bow, right?
Yes.
Short bow. Okay, I'm gonna update your character sheet on the fly here. Speed, damage, gonna be 4, and there we go. We're good. Okay, so now you should see in the center of your character sheet where it says short bow. Well, that'll do all the work for you. Okay, cool. So yeah, you loose an arrow at this thing, and as it spins through the air past Mina, past this opening gate, you see that the clouds, this miasma at his feet, just sort of boils up, and you see your arrow speeding through the air hit this thing, and just slow down as if you fired it through pudding. And then you see like it stop and then just fall, and only half of it falls, as if this miasma absorbed the first half of this arrow. Mina and Korax, you also see this because you're kind of looking in that general direction. What are you all doing?
Mina will back up towards the gate as instructed.
Okay. So you take a few steps back. The portcullis, it's still opening. more of these creatures have peeled themselves off the walls inside Seydlitz, and you see them begin to attack. You see that there are two of the... you see that there's the two like thugs, or the two people that work for Dershan, or Dreshen rather, are at the gate pulling that back. You see that two more of them are engaged to your left and to your right with one of these shadow masses. And you see that there are three more that are moving towards you and towards the gate to get into the actual keep itself. What are you doing, Seydlitz?
All right, one, this is an odd question. How fast are they moving? Are they like hobbling, or are they like stand, walk, run?
I mean, it looks like they're hobbling, but they're pretty quick. They're kind of like tumbling over themselves to go. But yeah, they're moving at a quick pace. They're moving at least as fast as if you were walking towards them. They're not like in a dead sprint. But...
And I'm in front of the door.
Yep. Well, I mean, you're in front of... So it's like there's a building, a well, you're at the building, and the door to get into the actual keep is past you. So they have to go past you to get to where they want to go.
Anything in the surroundings, like, I don't know, some random crane holding debris that I could use to drop in front of the door and block the door?
There is not. This is a keep. This is a yeah. There's no random cranes.
No random cart somewhere.
No. This is an old abandoned keep.
3 shadow monsters.
Yep. 3 nasty little shadow monsters.
Guess I'll shoot the one front.
Okay.
Mainly just as a test of, all right, what will happen if I do this?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, fire that crossbow. Difficulty 3 on these guys. Actually, I'm sorry. It's difficulty 4 on these guys. Let's see what happens. Hope for the best. That's a success. That's a success with a minor effect. So you can deal an additional 3 damage to this creature, or you can have a minor effect like, knock it prone or something like that.
I think I'm going to take the extra damage because I think knocking it prone really won't help me. It's a shadow. It'll probably just warp back up. Okay.
So you can take extra 3 damage. So you do, let's see here. That's a medium weapon, right? So that's that should be 4 damage plus 3 is 7 damage. Okay, so you launch this bolt into this thing, and you see it actually stab through this like gooey shadow mass, and like tink, your bolt sticks to the ground, and you see it like it's now far slower at like that weird goopy shamble walk. It's not quite dead, but if gooey shadows could look injured, it looks pretty injured, right? The other 2 continue past this thing as it slows down. Korvax and Mina. So Mina, you stepped backwards. So Korvax, what are you doing?
He's just going to make sure that these 2 guys open the gates enough for Mina to get through.
Mm-hmm.
And he is waiting.
Okay. Are you waiting for anything in particular?
For the Bibliomancer, does he look like he was irritated by Octavia's arrow?
Roll me an intellect. Let me see. Do you have anything that could affect this? Roll me discerning true motives or seeing through deception.
No bonuses. Difficulty?
Difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5. There we go.
Success. Okay. You see he was not annoyed at all. He didn't even seem to care about it, as if that attack and perhaps the rest of you are insignificant.
Right. Does he look like he's doing any? Is he moving towards us? Or
he is very slowly moving towards the gate. You can tell that he is far more focused on whatever he's casting than moving quickly. Yeah, you guys are in the ship.
I don't think that what I'm thinking of would do anything. So I have an ability that is going to prevent him from attacking. He's not particularly attacking.
He's not attacking this second, as far as you know. I mean, you can like ready that. There's no like actual ready action, but you can have that ready for when it looks like he's attacking, I guess. That makes sense.
That's pretty much what Korax is waiting for.
Okay.
This guy to prepare for an attack. And his goal is to make sure that attack does not hit Mina.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. So you're at the ready to defend Mina. Okay. Mina, you are able to back up and get back inside this portcullis. Korax, I assume you wanted them to lower the portcullis as soon as possible.
As he's through, Korax would shout to them, "Drop it now!"
Okay.
To get it dropped.
You just see them like click and then like let go, and it's like it like goes and like the chains rattle and this thing slams into the ground. Yeah, Korax, you are inside this thing. The four of you are inside. You all now can see these creatures that are like moving around. You see that two of them are currently engaged with two of the guards that are on either side. Three of them are making their way towards the center door. One is slightly slower. You can see a bolt just passing behind it from where Seydlitz shot it. And you can see one of the other ones is like moving towards the well. What are you guys doing?
I would like to use my find the flaw.
Interesting. Rose, you are a little quiet.
Sorry, I'll be loud.
That is slightly better, but not very. Okay, you want to find the flaw. Let's see here. Remind me, what does find the flaw do?
If an opponent has a straightforward weakness, the GM will tell you what it is. If you also have the sharp eye descriptor, which I don't, and it's associated with the ability, blah, 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 it'll take extra... Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah. You're going to tell me what its weakness.
I can tell you what its weakness is. What is the weakness? It doesn't have one. I can tell you that it seems almost mindless, and from that you can infer that intelligence-based attacks might be harder for it. Like, it might be harder to do damage with intelligence-based stuff because it's sort of mindless. Yeah.
And then
so that would be an action, I believe. So you can still move if you'd like.
And you said they're still all outside the gate?
No, just the Bibliomancer's outside the gate. The rest of them are inside the gate, moving towards the door to get into the actual building where the child is being born.
Okay. I'm gonna use my far step as my action.
Oh. Okay.
The find the flaw is an enabler.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna jump down to the door.
Within long range. Okay, so that'll be definitely way more than long range. However, you can jump down and close the distance between yourself, or you can. So you're on the rampart, so like the wall. You can jump from the wall to the building that Seydlitz is covering behind. That's far enough for you to jump, or you can jump to the ground, which would get you closer to these creatures. But you can't make it all the way to the door of the building. That'd be too far.
Okay, I'm gonna jump down then.
Okay, so you jump down. So essentially, you leap down this thing and you land. And you are now. It's basically like Seydlitz, you, and then Korax and Mina are the furthest ones back.
Does she land in front of me?
No, you're slightly in front of her. But I assume there is a cool superhero pose when you land, like bow in hand, cool pose, right? Korax and Mina, you see this. Mina, you're back inside the gate. You see superhero landing. You see these creatures, one moving towards the well, three moving towards the door, two fighting off the other guards. What are you doing?
Mina will say loudly to the gate guards to take cover and get away before he turns and races towards where Seydlitz is.
Okay. So yeah, you see the two gate guards that just like let the door close. Those two guys. Okay, you see them break off and they go run to the two other guys that are in the wings, and they start to fight those two monsters that they're fighting, leaving the gate unguarded, but for Korax. And you run towards where Seydlitz is. You can get there in enough time. Are you going to attack one of these creatures? You can attack the one that's slowed down by Seydlitz.
All right, I'll attack that creature.
Okay, that would be a difficulty 3. Three. And that's a success. You rolled a 6. That hits. Okay, cool. So, with that amount of damage, describe how you kill or how you attack this creature.
So it's been slowed down by Seydlitz quite a bit. It's kind of limping along, and Mina just runs up behind it, and before it even has a chance to look around, he'll just thrust his spear into its spine.
Yeah, I like that. So yeah, you stab this thing in, and it is like a wet, like splotchy kind of feeling, right? And then as soon as you like pull the spear back out, you see it kind of just like hit to the ground, and then just sort of dissolve into the stones. It's like a bubbling, kind of hissing, popping noises as it like melts into the stones. Korax, what are you doing?
The bibliomancer.
Yeah.
Can we hear him?
Yeah, you can hear him. He's chanting. Go ahead.
And how far is immediate range? I'm assuming
immediate is like
close.
In your face, like fisticuffs.
Okay. I think Korax, if this guy is literally just reading his book,
yeah,
as much as he is interested in that book, he's gonna turn and join the others, and sort of stick with them.
Okay. So you sprint back towards them. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, are you doing anything when you sprint back over there?
How many are with the group? There's just the one left?
There's 2. The one that Mina just killed is the same one that Seydlitz shot. So there's 2 more that are moving toward... They're completely ignoring you, moving towards the door. There's one heading towards the well, and there's one on either side to your left and right that are now being fought by 2 guards each.
Right. In which case, Korax is going to run back to the group to get as close to them as possible, and use one of his abilities called, one of the blessings of the gods, protection silence. So difficulty of all defense rolls for you and all creatures you designate within a bubble is decreased by 1 step, and no noise, regardless of its origin, sounds louder than a normal speaking voice. And it's immediate radius for 1 minute.
Interesting. What does it increase your defense by? Sorry.
1.
Increases all defenses by 1? That's cool.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Difficulty
I like
is decreased by 1 for all.
I like that. That's cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, what does that look like actually? Because this is the first time we've seen you use magic.
So for Korax, it's a bit of a concentration thing. He's been learning to harness his magic. That is why he is here. That is why he's made his way to... I can't remember the name of the city now.
Corso.
Yeah, this is why he's come to the city. This is where magic is. This is where people who learn magic. So it's a concentration thing for him. So he runs without really looking at his feet, closing his eyes, knowing where Mina went, and just concentrates with his eyes closed, running in a direction, chanting to himself under his breath.
Okay. And then you see this. Is there like a flash of light or something that happens as this kind of spell goes off?
Yeah, I would imagine it's got like a bubble effect in that light sort of shimmers off the edges of it, everything within its radius, just around him, has a slight shimmer to the edges of it.
Okay, fucking cool. Yeah, so you guys see Korax run down here, chanting and under his breath, and then this like radiance kind of appears around him and you, and you all feel slightly bolstered by his presence. That being said, these creatures begin to slowly move towards the door. Anyone who is very perceptive, you would see that the one at the well has sort of climbed up on top of the well wall and fallen inside of it. The other two that are at the angles are attacking. You see them like lashing out with like pseudopods basically, and like growing large and like trying to rake down on the two guards that are fighting them. You can hear the throes of combat and the pain from the attacks that are on these mortal men. That being said, that's it. The Bibliomancer continues forward. What are you guys doing?
I'm going to take a shot at either... I think I'm going to go for the Bibliomancer again.
So you're going to turn around and fire the Bibliomancer?
Yes.
Okay. You can do that. Okay, so yeah, you pull that short bow back. The arrow kind of goes again, the same thing. As soon as it passes through the portcullis, you see clouds form in front of this guy, and then it slows down, and tink, the ass end of that arrow kind of hits the ground and bounces away. You can almost feel a laugh in the air as your ineffectual attacks hit this guy. Mina, Seydlitz, you see these two remaining shadow creatures moving towards the door. What are you doing?
I think first Seydlitz might get out of danger. If these two shadow creatures are going through the door, they got to go through him, Octavia, and Mina first.
They're past you.
Oh, they're past me?
Yeah, they were passing you. You shot one of them, and then everyone else ran up behind you. So you're the closest to them. Well, except for Mina. Mina did just stab one. But he stabbed the slow one that you shot. So the other two are closing into the door.
All right, that changes my idea of what I was planning on doing. All right. I'm going to fleet of foot and try to get past them and stand in front of the door, cavalry saber drawn, and attack one. That first
Okay.
to make my speed roll. All right, how do I just check the roll regardless? Just hit the button up there.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I had a sneeze coming. Yeah, it should be speed at the top of your character sheet.
Yes. Billy says difficulty 2. There we go. All right.
You succeed.
So I'm going to use fleet of foot. I'm going to run past him, and I'm going to draw my sword while running, and I'm going to slash out the first one that's in front of me.
Okay, yeah, difficulty 3. Difficulty 4, slashing. We got here. Yeah, slow roll 20 today. Yeah, so you're speeding, trying to get past these guys. You pull out that cavalry saber, and as you kind of like flip it out of its sheath and stab, like slash at one of these things, you see it like move out of the way, and you barely nick the side of it, and then you see it like reform and start to slowly continue moving forward. You're able to get just in front of them. However, it didn't seem to actually land the hit on this thing. That being said, Mina, you saw this heroic dash from the elderly, quote-unquote, Seydlitz.
Yep, Mina will follow Seydlitz and charge at the other one that he wasn't able to. He didn't attack.
Yeah.
He'll use control the field to try to get between it and the door.
Okay, I like it. Let's see. So control the field. Inflicts 1 less point of damage, but regardless of whether you hit, you can maneuver into a position. So you're trying to basically swap positions with it, right?
Yeah. So that
Okay.
if it wants to continue to the door, it has to go past me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Did you roll a difficulty 3? That didn't seem to work. You rolled. Oh, you did. You rolled a 13. Okay. Yeah. So you did. Oh, that's right. You have a giant ass spear. I forgot about that thing. Yeah. So describe how you attack this creature. You do hit. You succeed.
Yeah. So Mjolnir will kind of run to the side of it rather than run directly behind it, and just use the spear to stab it as he runs past, and jam it into it, and then kind of use his momentum to swing around and land in front of it.
Yeah. Okay. Dope. I like that. Yeah. So you're able to so the two of you are now kind of in front of these creatures, and as such, they'll both attack you because you're in the way now. Let's see here. Yeah. Roll me might defense. Might defense. Difficulty is 3. Okay, Mina, you succeed. And Seydlitz, might defense, level 3.
Are they outside of the immediate range from Corax?
Yes, they'd have to be next to you. They ran forward.
Right.
So they both moved a short distance.
All right, I have a sheet issue. I don't have might defense on here that I can
Roll
see.
might. Difficulty 3.
Sorry, it's because I have actual intellect defense, and I thought, oh, is that it?
Kind of. That means you're trained at intellect defense. If you're not trained in something, it's just the base stat. Okay, you both succeed. So the two of you do this awesome tandem kind of move where you both run by, slash. One of you stabs, pivots. You land in front of these two creatures, and they all they reach for you, and you can see as they grow taller, it looks like there's just juts of weird bone and just stuff coming out of them, and you see these almost hands protrude forward as they try to rake down the front of you. Both of them slowly telegraphing their moves, and easily you guys can maneuver out of the way. That being said, Corax, you see this all happen. They are outside of your protection, and they are getting closer to the door.
Corax would look back to see if the Bibliomancer is moving, if he's moving towards the gate. And
the Bibliomancer, as you turn back, you see that he is at the gate and is just standing there, book out, hand above it still, and you can still hear those guttural chants that are happening.
Okay. Corax would, in that case, use his protection not silence, sorry, authority, law, and peace.
Ooh.
To prevent a foe that can hear and understand you, if they can, from attacking anyone or anything for 1 round.
Interesting. Okay. How does that work?
It is an action.
Yeah. Cost 3 points. Yep.
Cost 3 points. That's another 3.
You prevent a foe that can hear and understand you from attacking anyone or anything for 1 round. Okay. Yeah. I will count what he's doing as an attack. I like that. What does this look like? What does your blessing of authority do?
I think for Corax, it's in his mind, it's praying almost to not quite the gods, because the gods are obviously gone, but it's what he believes in. His family has lots of ties into kind of what the old gods represented, and it's a prayer almost to them just to stop this person from performing the action that they are doing.
I muted myself. I like that. That's cool. So yeah, you issue off this prayer directed at this Bibliomancer, and you see for like the briefest of seconds, like if you didn't make this correlation because of like what you said, you wouldn't even notice it. You see him there, standing there, hand on the book, hand above the book, and you see for a second, like just a second, he stops, and the clouds stop, and everything about him stops for just 1 second, and then it's back to normal. But you think that whatever your prayer did something, right? It seems to have an effect on this creature, albeit almost imperceptible to anyone but you. That being said, Octavia, what are you doing? Also, if somebody could start a counter for how many times I've said "that being said" today, it's the phrase of the day. I don't know what's happening with my face.
I'm going to use my perfect submission.
Okay.
Where to go? You know exactly where to grab, prod, or apply pressure to a creature to keep its undivided attention for as long as you take no physical actions or movements except to hold the submission. The other creature can take no physical action, even over multiple rounds. If the creature is attacked, the effect ends. You can affect creatures up to twice as large as you. That's all for much bigger things.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, you spend 1 intellect point. So lower your intellect by 1. Oh, no, you have edge in intellect. You're fine. So, yeah, you basically run up to one of the gooey creatures.
No.
So the bibliomancer's on the other side of the gate.
Yes.
You can kind of grab him through the gate, but he's on the other side of the gate, and the gate's closed.
I'm assuming it's like
It's a portcullis, so it's like bars, so you can reach through and grab him.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach through, grab him, and like pull him to the gate to like put some pressure on him.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Yeah, so you sprint in the opposite direction, and you go and you grab this bibliomancer's robes, and you kind of like yank him against the gate itself. You see like the book snap closed at his hand, and his book hand kind of goes down, and he's like holding the book by his side as you pull him in. And as you pull him in, you like grab like the front piece of the robe and yank forward. You can now see this like the hood, that's the word I'm looking for. The hood that was like cast down over his face. As you kind of yank it forward, it gives just enough to like tilt back, and there is nothing.
Nice.
There is just darkness inside this hood. And as you can see where like it opens up, there is just like shadow inside of this hood. Go ahead.
While I'm holding him, I'm going to turn around and yell to them, "Don't attack him. I can only hold this for so long. Y'all need to whoop them quickly."
Okay. The other creature takes no physical actions. Let me see here. For as long as you take no physical actions or movement except to hold them, the other one takes no actions either. If the creature is attacked, the effect ends. Okay, cool. I dig this. Yeah, so you kind of pull him in, and he doesn't really lean in. He just is in close to you. Yeah.
You have made your choice.
And that's what you hear. Yeah, that's going to be cool. And as you hear this, I'm going to give each one of you 1 XP because you don't have any. And that's the best part about that. So there's a thing called a GM intrusion in the world of Cypher system, which is I get to intrude and do whatever I want. Usually, if you have an XP, you can say no. However, because we hit the corruption bar, thank you, chat, I'm going to do a group intrusion. So I'm still going to be nice. Everyone still gets an XP, but you cannot refuse this one. And as you pull him in, and he says, you've made your choice, the miasma around him sort of fades into the ground, much like these goo creatures had faded a second ago, the one that was killed. And you see above the courtyard this big swirling cloud of this purple glistening miasma just slowly fill in until you just see like this coil of this like fog, and it slowly begins to twist and turn, and you see the very center of it start to descend. And that's my turn. Seydlitz, Mina, you have 2 of these gooey creatures in front of you. What do you want to do about that?
Yep, Miena will try to end it. And as he does, he'll try to end it with a thrust.
Yeah. Stab away, my dude. Difficulty is difficulty 3. Describe how you pierce the veil on this thing.
Yeah, so it's being gooified. It's probably been a little bit emboldened by the bibliomancer's effort. So it'll probably rear up to attack him again. He'll step away from Seydlitz to create that gap between them, and then just thrust through the head, or whatever passes for a head for this.
Exactly. Yeah. So you again, and as you pull that thing out, it like sizzles to the ground, and you see it melt into the stone again. Seydlitz, what about you?
Well, if he's got one, I'll take the other. And I'm going to try with this sword again.
Go for it.
See if I can at least cut it in half see if I can slow it down.
Yeah. Give me a difficulty 3 attack on this guy. It is too quick for you. Perhaps
Swear to
seeing
God, that sword's not decorative.
That's true. Perhaps seeing how Mina is fighting physically with this creature, it adapts to where you're slashing with this thing. It's just quick enough to like morph its body out of the way of your swings, and it retaliates. Make me a might defense 3 or might 3, whatever you have. That is a failure. You see this thing like dip, dodge, duck, and weave as you slash this thing, and like it comes up under your blade, and you see like these claws jut out of it. Not like the hands that came up before, but like 3 claws that just sort of like, and they scrape across whatever makes for your forward armor, and they sort of cut into your chest, and you take 3 points of damage. That would be 3 points of might damage.
Mm-hmm.
So reduce your might pool by 3. That's it. That's it for them. Corax, you see this cloud happening. You hear the shout from Octavia that she has this guy, and that we need to end these other creatures. What are you doing, Corax?
So the Bibliomancer is still there, held by Octavia.
Correct.
Corax will run as fast as he can to reach the gate with Octavia.
Yeah.
Reach through and try and grab and rip the book out of his hand.
Interesting. Make me a roll. What roll would that be? That would be
guaranteed success. Yep, that one.
It's not that one. It's for sure not that one. I guess just make me like a straight up might 5.
Might 5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to have anything that is going to help with that. Nope. No bonuses. Difficulty 5. Can I use effort?
You can use effort. So to use effort, let's see here. To use effort, yeah, you have no edge in might. You would spend 3 points out of your might pool, so reduce your might pool by 3, and that would essentially lower the difficulty. So when it asks you for effort, you can spend effort. Which would essentially
roll, set that as a 1.
What's that?
Set the effort the effort to roll as a 1.
Yes, set that as a 1. Yep. And that will essentially make it a DC 4 instead of a DC 5. Which is you only need to beat a 12 to succeed. You succeeded. You succeeded on a 12. So you're trying to snatch this book. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you run up there. You kind of slam your body into the grate of this thing. You reach out. You lunge out with your hand. You snatch the book, and you are yanking it And no one expected this, least of all, the bibliomancer. So as you pull this book in, you're just able to get it cleanly through the portcullis. And you have his book in your hands. What are you trying to do with that?
Keep it away from him.
That's a good call. Like, I mean, I can't even be mad about that.
As he pulls it in, he's going to tuck it inside of his cloak.
Yeah.
Into one of his pockets.
Yeah.
And he's going to look to move away from this guy again.
Interesting. Okay. I like that. Yeah, so you pull this book back in there and you tuck it immediately in and you take a step or so back. Octavia, you can feel like seething heat coming off of this creature. You guys done fucked up now. That's what you did. That's what you can feel him thinking. Not me. I would never. You guys are doing great. That was a fucking interesting move. I like that. You hear him like shout.
The Night King will smite each one of you. There will be no new divinity under the rule of night.
And you see the cloud begin to go faster and faster and faster as this cyclone begins to slowly touch down towards the ground. Mina, Seydlitz, you all hear this coming from behind you. Octavia, I didn't forget you. You just can't do anything besides hold this guy. So when you want to let him go, you let me know, and then we'll do some shit for you. Because I think it says your whole action has to be just keeping that guy where the hell he is. Man, stealing the book was a move. Okay. Interesting. Korax, you feel something in this book. Like breathing? That's the only thing like you can relate it to. Like holding this book in your hand, it almost feels as like if you put your hand on someone's chest and you can feel that slow, like raspy rise and fall. That's what the book feels like in your hand. Like there's some life, sentience, something. The book, or maybe it's the magic pulsing. You're not sure. Your experience with magic is very limited, and you've never held a magical book, as far as you can tell. I mean, you have, but it's slightly different. So this book feels different, even in your hands. That being said, Mina, again, there you go. Check that box. Mina, Seydlitz, what are you doing? There's one of these creatures left that you guys can see. What's up? Stabbing time?
Yeah, Mina will look at Seydlitz to try to get an indication whether he wants Mina to get involved or whether he's got this.
He'll look back at you and just say, stab it. He'll questioningly ask, stab it?
Yep. The answer will be Mina stabbing it.
Yeah. I'll take a might.
I will also stab it.
Yeah, I'll take an attack from both of you. Difficulty 3. Oof, Mina. No go. Now, I will say, because all of you have XP, you can use XP to re-roll. It would spend your XP, but if that's what you want to do, you can totally do that. Seydlitz, you see Mina stab at this thing, and you waited that 1/2 second where the stab goes in, and it lurches to the side, and you cut off a big chunk of this like shadow, and it like bounces to the side, and you see it dissipate into the ground. The bulk of it is still there. It is not dead. However, you did a chunk of damage to it. That being said, Mina, do you want to spend XP, or are you going to call that one a wash?
No, I'm gonna keep that for the next shit.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Octavia still holding onto that?
Yes.
Still grabbing that nerd?
I do. I still have him,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna yell back and be like, "You guys gotta hurry! This is not going to hold very long. You have to hurry.
It's true. It's not going to hold very long. He said ominously. Korax, you're muted. But what did you want to say?
I just quoted Melissa in chat saying, that being said.
Yeah, that being said. Again. That being said, what do you want to do?
So just wanted to double check something. So I used 2 of my abilities. Which both have a cost of 3.
Yep.
In intellect.
Yep.
Intellect, I have an edge of 1. So that means it costs me 2, correct?
Yes, correct. That is correct.
Right. Okay. So that's perfect. I would then. So Korax is going to sort of run back, seeing this tornado coming down into the middle of the courtyard. He's going to start to get away from this bibliomancer, to keep the book as far away from him as he can.
Yeah.
And I would like to, I don't know if this is possible, to use scan. You can scan an area up to 10 foot, including all objects or creatures. He's not scanning the area. He wants to try and understand the book. So pulling the book open as he runs, looking through to see if there's any information or anything he can glean from this book to stop what's happening in the sky.
Ooh, to stop what's happening in the sky. Interesting. Man, can you stop what's happening in the sky? I don't think that will help you. What I can tell you is I will let you use scan to lower the difficulty of a divine knowledge check by 1 to try to interpret what that book is.
Okay.
I don't know that it will help you actually stop what's going on, but you have no idea what that book is to even attempt to use it at this point in time.
Yeah, he's basically keeping it away from the bibliomancer.
Yeah,
and just flicking through it to see if there's anything that makes sense, anything that he can glean. And if he can't, that makes perfect sense. It's a book he's never seen.
Yeah.
On magic he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And
I will say by flipping through it, you have no idea. This is well beyond your means. You can try to comprehend what the book is about, which could help you in the future of trying to cast spells out of it. But at this current venture, without having proper time to actually sit down and understand this book, you won't be able to stop what's happening with this.
Right, in which case he is literally just going to keep the book away from the bibliomancer and try and run past Mina and Seydlitz to get to the door.
Okay, yeah, you can
He's literally
sprint.
booking it towards inside,
Yeah. You can totally sprint as a whole action. You can move 2 long range, so 2 short distances. Perfect. Yeah, so you have the book hidden under the many folds of your outfit as you run past the chunk of this shadow creature that splats on the ground, and you make your way to the door. On your next turn, you'll hit the door, and you'll be able to go inside if that's where you choose to go. However, before you're able to get to the door itself, the tip of that miasma touches the ground. And you see, way faster than it took to actually spin down, you see it unravel back up into the sky. And where that had touched the ground, there is this bright, almost like sunlit red, explosion that happens there of light. And you see as it recedes, you see this creature is standing there. It must be 12 feet tall. It stands there. There's a flowing shadow dress, perhaps. The only way you can think about it is a wedding dress. You know how the train is so long? It's kind of like that. It sweeps and billows behind them, but it seems to curl up like Spawn's cape, if you can picture that. This creature has this spear in one of its 4 hands, a book in the bottom right of its 4 hands, and as it outstretches, 4 wings unfurl from its back, and you see the light kind of recede and like a beam to the sky. And as you kind of follow that red light to the sky, in the center, the eye of the storm, as it were, is an actual red eye. Each one of you recognizes it from your dream. It looks identical to the eye that followed you through the streets of Corsi to this place. This creature stands, and you hear this cacophony of voices. There are so many voices in so many language that you can't even understand what it is saying. It's double speak in languages you've never heard of, bestial languages, these strange tongues that you've never even thought of before. In fact, as you try to process the words, it hurts your head. That is my turn, because I think that's enough. Octavio, are you still holding onto this guy? You see this, you can look behind you and you see the back of this thing, the wings unfurl.
As much as I would like to hold him still, I feel like impending doom. So I'm gonna turn around and try and get a little bit further away from the bibliomancer and then knock an arrow.
Yeah. So you can kind of throw the bibliomancer backwards. Because there's a gate between the two of you. Yeah. Okay. And you're gonna shoot an arrow at
the colossal.
Okay. Yeah. Fire an arrow. It is a difficulty. It is a difficulty 5.
Of course it is. No.
Ooh, that's a free GM intrusion, is what that is. So, would you like to spend an XP and re-roll that?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good use. So reduce your XP back down to 0 and go ahead and re-roll. When you roll a nat 1, I get to do a GM intrusion at the cost of no XP. You get nothing. Okay, still a failure, however, not a tragic failure. So yeah, you fire an arrow, and one of the wings, almost as if independently, just knocks your arrow out of the air. Mina, Seydlitz, you see this thing happening. The gooey shadow seems paltry in comparison to whatever the fuck just landed here. What are the two of you doing?
You want me to finish this and you want to deal with that?
I'd be happy with the other way, but okay.
Oh, I ain't going over there. Rock, paper, scissors fight.
Finish it, and I'll wander over.
You want me to take this little goo monster while you unfuck that giant monstrosity? Sure, no problem, buddy. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so Seydlitz, give me an attack. Difficulty 3, yeah.
And I still fucking fail.
You want to spend XP?
No.
No? Okay.
I think I might want to use it on the big guy.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, so you slash away at this thing and miss because you're clearly distracted by whatever the hell that is. Mina, do you want to steal the show and attack God, I guess?
Well, the old man told me to, so I always listen to my elders.
That's true.
Wander over and attack this ancient deity that wants to kill me.
Yeah, by all means. I'd like to see you do that. That's my favorite thing you do. Try to kill gods. Difficulty 5 attack on this guy.
I'm gonna put some effort into this one.
Okay. Yeah. So spend that pool. Gonna attack this 12-foot deity. Oh God. Thrust. Okay. So we're going all in on this thing. Yeah. So describe this attack.
Mina wanders over and literally has no clue, but just settles into his training and just opens up with the most vicious attack to start with.
Yeah.
If anything, to try to get its attention more than anything. Probably stabs it in one of its extremities as he gets up close.
Yeah, I like that. So yeah, you stab at this creature. The first thing you notice is, unlike everything else you have attacked, there is resistance when you stab into this thing. Though you've dealt 7 points of damage, this thing is armored. It has 2 armor and reduces that by 5. Sorry, reduces it by 2, so it reduces it to 5. Cool. Yeah, so you stab at this creature. As you like stab into this like flowing shadow gown that it's wearing, every time you pierce into it with your spear, you see like bright bursts of that red light that like come out of it from the stabs in the like the pierces in the shadow there. Octavia and sorry, it would be Corax. Corax, you reach the door.
Would this thing fit through the door? The massive thing that I've just run past that landed behind me?
So I'll tell you this. You're a smart young boy. You're pretty sure it doesn't need the door. Like, you're pretty sure that door is not going to stop it. It won't fit through it, but at the same time...
He's got other ways.
Yeah, it's probably just going to move the wall.
Corax is going to run inside.
Okay.
He's trying to reach the chamber where there was the awkward situation with the lovely young lady giving birth.
Is that what we're calling it?
Turn around.
Okay.
He's heading towards there to see if there's anyone that's still left from the original people that brought him here. Yeah.
Yeah, you run down the hallway, you go into this large chamber. Everyone's there. There's the midwife is there. Sephora, I think that's her name, is giving birth, like mid-birthing. And Dresden is also there. Like he's the guy in the waiting room that's like, my hand. That's his only purpose once he got you guys.
He gave us his name before, didn't he?
Dresden.
So we do know his name.
Yeah.
He's told it. Yeah, okay. Corax would just burst through the door and shout to him, Dresden, is there another way out of this keep? It's not looking good out there.
There's a tunnel in the well to the sewers.
In the well?
Yeah.
The well that's outside?
Yeah.
Okay. Any others? Because that one's not good.
Oh, no. The well was an escape route in case it looked like the walls were going to be breached. Did the walls get breached?
Very much so. There's
a
12-foot tall, I don't know, thing. It's probably going to rip through the wall if the others don't stop it. I think all your fighters are gone.
Is there nothing you can do?
Corax looks down and goes, does it look like anything I can do? They're trying.
He looks at his book. No. Throw
Stole a book.
Make spitballs at him. He like looks to Stephanie. That's her name, not the one I made up. He looks to Stephanie, and you can tell like this whole conversation is happening through like the screams of pregnancy. You know, those screams. Rose, could you make a scream of pregnancy for us? No. So those kinds of screams. So this is a loud conversation happening here through these sounds of push. He looks to her, who clearly can provide no answers to the situation. He looks back to you, equally confused, and he says to you, "She told me that you were the divine redeemers. This is a task you must undertake. There's no other way out. We have to finish this."
We're definitely trying. Just looking for options.
Trying.
Do what you can to keep her safe, because if anything runs in here, I'm not going to stop it. I'm going to head back out and try and help the others then.
I'll do what I can. And you see him like peel his hand away, and he reaches over and grabs a short sword. And he like follows you to the door, and then like shakily stands at the door. He is not a fighter.
The last thing Corax will do is start to pull the doors shut and shut, barricaded behind us.
Okay. I like that. So are you headed back outside? Okay. So yeah, we cut back outside. Octavia, you are at the gate. You took a few steps back towards the main building. You still see the back of this creature. What do you want to do? Run away is a good plan. It's a valid option. I get
Yeah,
it.
we don't do that here. I'm gonna try and use my perfect submission again and hold it.
Ooh, that one's gonna be costly.
Grab his leg.
Yeah. That one's gonna cost you some shit. Hold on. This is a big boy.
Okay, so it does have instructions for
Yeah.
much bigger.
Yeah. What are those instructions?
You can affect creatures up to twice as large as you. To affect creatures 3, 4, or more times larger than you, you must apply increasing levels of effort. For instance, to affect a creature 3 times larger than you, you must apply 2 levels of effort.
Okay, so here's how that works. You are level 1, you're tier 1, you only have 1 level of effort. This creature is 3 times as large as you. He is in that that third category. You can, yeah, you just don't have enough effort. At tier 2, you can do that. But tier 1, he is too big. He is too big for that situation for you to grab.
Then we're gonna switch over to find the flaw, and if he has any, because I would really like to know.
It's such a weird ability.
Helpful though.
It is. It is. Oh God. What is his ability? Man, it hurts because you don't know what the hell it is. Has Octavia ever seen or held a Cypher before? Like a vaguely magical item.
Yes.
Okay. You can see that this creature has like basically like a jar, right? Like this massive jar. And you see in it that there are multiple like things that seem to emanate the energy that a Cypher would emanate. That perhaps this creature collects them and could be bargained with.
Okay. So
if you had a powerful enough Cypher.
Is an enabler, do I still get an action?
I think, yeah. Yeah, why not?
I'm going to shoot the jar, and I would like to use an effort to do so.
Okay. I am not going to say no. What I am going to tell you is that you know that here in the world, if too many Cyphers are together and exposed, it calls in the Reavers, which are the shells of dead gods that kind of take them and or kill the things around them. So might help you with the angel or whatever that creature is, or might kill you. One of the two. Also, it's been known that when multiple Cyphers get together, they could explode. So
we're gonna find out.
Okay. Fantastic. Fire on that thing. It'll be shit. Difficulty. It'll be difficulty 6. It'll be 1 slightly higher. So difficulty 6 to make this like point this called shot basically. So difficulty 6, and then you can spend 1 effort by subtracting 3 speed, I think.
Okay. So difficulty 6.
Yep.
Effort to roll
1. And then reduce your speed pool by 3. No. And you're out of... Wow, you rolled a 3. Okay, yeah, so drop your speed pool by 3. You lean back, you choke about this thing, you try to aim for where you think some kind of clasp or mechanism to make this thing fall off would be, and you fire this arrow, and it kind of spins, and again, you see the lower 2 wings just sort of like flapping, and your arrow kind of spins, and it tinks off one of the feathers of this wing. Unfortunately, not hitting the target. You can try again next time, but not right now. Seydlitz. Oh, go ahead. Do you have something else, Rose?
Yes. As it tinks off there, I'm going to yell out, if you can, shoot the jar.
Okay.
It might help. It might kill us, but it also might help.
Okay. Mina, as you hear that, you can see this large, like, you could fit inside of it, jar thing on its, like, waist. Seydlitz, you have one of these goo creatures still on you. What do you want to do about that?
My efforts to kill it have failed, and I've been pointed at a big giant jar that's basically I've been given an option of kill this thing or maybe just kill us all.
Yeah. That's true. That is what you've been.
So I am going to take consideration. Mina is right next to the big giant colossal creature of whatever the heck origin. Maybe I'll leave it to Mina to stab the jar out of its hand or wherever it's being held.
I mean, not a bad call.
And besides, I am completely irritated with this shadow monster in front of me.
Yep.
And its stubborn refusal to not die.
It does have that. So difficulty 3 on that attack.
I'm going to apply an effort.
Okay, so subtract 2 from your might pool, and then add that effort. You have succeeded. 4 damage is still not enough to kill it. But you slash into this creature. Another chunk goes off, and you see that it is much in the same way as that first one that you shot through. It is like very slow and sluggish, and it telegraphs its attack as it kind of comes up to you. I need you to make me a might defense 3 as it tries to slash at you. You succeed. Yeah. You've damaged this so much that it's very slow, and you see like this thing jut out of its like center mass towards you, and you just easily take a step back, and you see it like kind of flop and like recoil back into its body. Mina, you were pointed out a jar on its waist that could help you or kill everyone. What do you want to do about that?
Mina doesn't do a lot of thinking for himself, so
fair.
He's just going to try to hit the jar.
Okay. Difficulty 6.
He'll use some effort.
Okay. Can't wait to see what happens here. No one could have planned for this. Okay, so you rolled a 16. You hit. Okay, so you stab up with your spear. And you can see that whatever mechanism is holding it to its like body, you like jab a few quick at this thing, and you can see that you've gotten half of it off. Another good jab like that will make this thing fall right to the ground. Okay, so no damage, but you've fucked up his belt. It was Gucci, and he's mad about it. He's gonna attack you. This is gonna hurt. Roll me a difficulty 5 might defense. Oh, Jesus. You're so fucking lucky. Oh no. Okay. Yikes. All right, cool. What major effect would you like to happen as you dodge out of the way? He basically like takes this rod that he had in his hand, and you see him like start to spin it, and you, very acute of eye, you see the spinning, this like orb that was at the tip of this thing begin to slowly meld into this long spear, and he like gets it downward and goes to stab at you, and you jump out of the way. What would you like to happen as your major effect?
Can I use that major effect to cause the jar to fall?
You can use the major effect to get a free attack on that jar outside of your turn.
Yep. I'll do that.
Okay. So difficulty 6 attack on the jar. Jesus Christ, this is the weirdest combat. I love it.
And put more effort.
Huh.
I don't believe it myself.
Huh.
2 nat 20s in a row. Oh dear.
Huh.
Dice have spoken, Mike.
They have spoken. Yeah, I'm just trying to. Yeah, that's not good. Okay. Okay, cool. So here's what's going to happen. So what major effect? Okay, so the jar is going to fall and break. What major effect do you want to happen, Mina?
How close is Octavia to this?
Probably halfway between the creature and the gate. So probably like a good 15, 20 feet. Seydlitz is probably 10 feet behind you. And as far as you're aware, Korax ran inside the building.
I think Mina would try to position himself between where the jar's falling and Octavia and just set himself behind his shield.
Okay, so you're going to try to get behind this creature.
Yeah.
So you're going to like stab through and then land behind. Okay. Yeah, that can totally happen. All right, cool. I need everyone, including Korax. I need everyone to make me a DC 6 might defense roll. Korax, you can make me a DC 4 might defense roll. You can spend effort. You can pull out all the stops here. I wish you all the best of luck.
So
I just realized that I only have so much effort might in my pool. If I spend effort, this could outright kill me.
No, you have to get 0 in all of your pools to kill you.
Oh. Yeah. Spending all the effort I can.
Okay. So we got a failure. Sorry, you were going to say something, Chris.
Sorry, Mike. I've got something called Ward. I have a shield of energy around me at all times. Helps deflect attacks and gains +1 to armor.
Yeah.
What does that
So
mean?
that means you'll take 1 less damage when I explode you.
1 less damage. Okay.
Yeah.
Success.
Action to initiate.
We got 1 success.
Okay. I have resonance field.
Let's see what
action to initiate.
It is an action.
Oh shit.
You did not have that already turned on. Also, the creature is not within immediate range of you. Immediate range is like you're in melee combat.
Okay.
You're at range. All right. So, Seydlitz, how do you dodge this? How do I describe how you dodge this?
I'm still standing next to the building, right?
Yeah, that's not going to help you.
Well, I was just saying, it's like I have stalker, which means I have training in like climbing, swimming, running, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think what happens is like the building that you were hiding behind before, that you were like shooting out from behind, you see this jar hit the ground, right? You see it like unbuckle as the spear kind of towards the ground. The spear hits like rocks like explode out of this thing. The jar tink, and then you hear like this explosion of glass. The particles kind of go everywhere. And you see this happening, and you run and you like slide behind the building that you were at before. As soon as that glass explodes, you see all of these various ciphers just sort of like hit the ground as if you like dropped a bag of marbles. And each one of them like tink and then bounces, tink, bounces over and over again. And there's probably like a good 50 of these things. And then as soon as they hit the ground and bounce back up, that same red light that emanated from this creature begins to boo, 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 on all of them. And then there is this massive explosion. Korax, you are running out of the birthing chamber, and the entire front side of the building blows back towards you. You are thrown back towards the door of the birthing chamber, which you have barricaded in a way that you kind of just land and slump down next to this thing. Mina, you have sliced off this jar. You've done your very best to get into a protective stance, kind of blocking Octavia. You have the shield. You feel this force that lifts you, shield down, and slams you into the portcullis. Down, sliding to the ground. Octavia, you have your bow ready. You see this wave happen as it launches Mina back behind you, like over your shoulder, follows you. boom, you slam the other side of the wall, slump down. Each of you are going to take 8 might damage. Seydlitz, you take none, but you are completely covered in rubble.
So would that be 7 with ward?
It would be 7 with ward, yes.
Anything for being inside and not with them?
You got a difficulty lower than everyone else. Everyone else had a difficulty 5. You had a difficulty 3, I think.
Everyone had a difficulty 6.
6. Yeah.
Right.
That's the ticket. Yeah. So who has might left? Is anyone at 0 might?
Yes.
I'm at 0 might. I took 5 damage. My armor and shield reduced it by 3, which was just enough to put me to 0.
Gotcha. Okay. So Octavia is at 0. Mina is at 0. Korvax is at
0.
You're at 0.
Yep.
And Seydlitz, you're pretty hurt. You're still down. Seydlitz, you are the first one to like claw yourself out from under the rubble. You see that the courtyard is decimated. The building that you dodge behind is ruins. That's what's on top of you. You see the front half of the keep is obliterated. Whatever this creature was, gone. You see this massive scarring, like a crater in the center of this area. And you see that 2 of your companions are like completely battered and slumped down at the remains of the wall, because even that has exploded. And you see several pieces of rubble and a shock red hair in the front end of the keep that you know to be a slumped down Korax who is also covered in rubble. Seydlitz, what are you doing?
Well, I think my first thing would be to assess my situation. Look around, is everything gone?
Everything's pretty decimated. There's like the 3/4 of the keep remains, but the whole front hall is trashed. You can see the hall that you walk through is gone, but the door that led to like the birthing room is still there intact.
I should probably clarify. Are all the enemies gone?
As far as you can tell, yeah. I mean, most importantly, that giant 12-foot tall creature is gone.
All right, who's the closest to me?
Probably Korax in the ruins.
Walk over to him. Is he buried?
He is, but you know, with a modicum of effort, you can dig him out. He is conscious. Korax, you are conscious as you feel the stones and debris begin to move off of you. And while
reach ahead, he's like, "Get up, buddy! Come on!"
Yeah,
he would reach up, take the hand. That was a big bang.
Yes, it was.
I think on that perfect dialogue, the camera segues to Mina and Octavia, who are on either side of the completely bent-in portcullis. Each one of you, like, seeing stars, you know, the spots in front of your eyes. You're still conscious, but you took a hard hit, each of you. You see that Seydlitz, like, your eyes are blurry, but you can see that Seydlitz is, like, removing rubble. And then you see that, like, you see a vaguely humanoid shape and bright red hair being lifted up off the ground.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have generous.
Uh-huh.
Allies who have spent the last day with you add +1 to their recovery rolls. So can I help?
You can when you roll recovery rolls. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can roll them at any point in time. So the way recovery rolls work is if you look on the top right, that's how numbers work. Yeah, top right corner of your character sheet, you can roll one as an action, as a 10-minute rest, as a 1-hour rest, or as a 10-hour rest. To regain the points you guys have lost, it's probably going to take several of those, if not the 1, 10, and maybe the 1 hour. So you can affect that for everyone once you guys finally like sit down to rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm probably gonna shake my head a little, try and relieve myself of the stars that have been flying across my face.
Yeah.
And kind of sit up and probably fall back down on my butt, and I don't think I can get up, and kind of there's rocks on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there's rubble everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up a rock and toss it at Mina and kind of, are you alive?
I think Mina actually Mina thought that was pretty cool, so he kind of will look over and say, kind of go, "Wow, good call."
Oh God.
Yes.
Okay.
And he'll just use his spear to kind of lever himself up and look around to see if there's any other threats.
No, as far as you can see, everything here is destroyed. Yeah, buildings, the well, the walls, the portcullis, the keep itself. Everything here is trashed. There is no fighting. You don't even see the guards that may have been alive or not. You're not sure what state they were in before the explosion. They could be under rubble. They could be dead. You're not entirely sure. You see Octavia there. You see Seydlitz and Korax. Like now that you're like up and you've shaken away that fog, you see that Korax is in what was the great hall of this keep. And you can see beyond him the double doors that led to that birthing chamber is intact.
Mienya will head over to help up Octavia and head towards the others.
Okay. Yeah, the four of you rejoin in what was once the Great Hall. The floor is yours.
If this is what's going to happen every time I'm traveling around with you three lot, I think it's going to be an interesting time. Is this what the price of divinity is?
That was brilliant. I mean, I'd say there's a spark of divinity in Octavia, the way she picked up on that.
That was reckless. I'll give it that, but brilliant.
Which one of you three made the big boom?
Well, I was the instrument, but it was Octavia's plan.
That's pretty divine if you can make things explode like that.
I was hoping it was going to blow up just him and not us, but, well, no opponents are better than whatever the hell that was.
How are you three feeling?
Hurt?
I mean,
I
I've
can see that.
been better.
Korax would feel his body, make sure the book is still there. Yeah, just a little bruised.
The book is still there.
Yeah, I think Mienya will be taking his shirt off, checking for any damage to the shirt that he'll have to fix up later.
Saucy. Yeah, it is. There is like definitely holes in it. There's tears from being thrown. 10 feet, 15 feet.
He'll just pull out a needle and thread and start bending it as he goes.
In the ruins of a hall, you're just like,
yeah,
my shirt. My mom's gonna be so mad about this. Yeah. Are you guys headed towards that door or licking your wounds?
Yes.
I can't hear you, Rose. Sorry.
Octavia definitely will be. She'll be
Okay.
making her way into the birthing chamber to make sure that Stephanie is okay.
Okay. Is everyone following Octavia as she moves towards that door? Okay.
Yep.
I'll kind of be ushering them in, like last one in. Just kind of is like, I feel like I'm in a better condition than the others.
Yeah, to make sure they don't fall and collapse inside. Yeah, I get it. So a few quick shoves on this door, Octavia, because it was slightly barricaded and there's debris in front of it. So you kind of gotta throw some weight into it. What little strength you have, you just sort of flop your body on the door until it eventually gives way. And it gives way to almost the exact opposite scene. This is a room of calm and tranquil. There is a few pieces of rubble in certain places. You can see dust streaming through the ceiling with a little bit of that the light from the city, even though it's everything's in darkness, streaming through the holes in the ceiling. And you see that Stephanie is propped up against something, and she is holding a child in her arms. You see that Dreschen is just sort of there, and he looks like a defeated man. This took everything out of him to get you guys organize this and survive. He's just sat next to her. He also just gave birth. And as soon as the door opens, you see the midwife who was performing these services, like, shove past you. Like, she's out. This is fucking too much. And she's like, get out of my way. Get out, please, please. And she's, like, pushing you to, like, leave. This was all way too much.
When she pushes past, Corax will say to her, I heard the only way out's the well. And the gates...
As soon as I hear Corax say that I'm going to grab her by the shoulder, she's at me, he's like, don't use the well.
You're all insane. What's wrong with you? And she takes off towards the destroyed gate. Okay. Yeah, you see this room of tranquility.
I'm gonna go sit by Stephanie. And are you and the child well?
You see her, like, you know that, like, exhaustion, right? She is exhausted. It's all of the remaining strength she has is holding the baby. And she just kind of, like, weakly smiles at you, and she says, thank you so much. And you can see there is a newborn baby girl in her arms. Fucking Rose. You would. Yeah, you see that as you kind of, like, I assume you kind of, like, squat down next to her on the opposite side of Dreschen. The rest of you see this. They're, like, the baby's kind of, like, lifted, so you can all see that there is a baby there. And you see Dreschen just kind of, like, looks back to all of you and just sort of the same kind of exhausted smile. And he looks to you and says, thank you so much. We couldn't have done this, any of this, without you.
Mina will look at Dreschen and say, I don't know if you noticed, but there was quite a big explosion out there. We might want to think about relocating before the authorities show up.
Yeah, I don't know what you did to save us, but as soon as and he, like, pauses for a second and then, like, looks down at Stephanie. As soon as she has the strength, we'll move.
Fine. I'll get back out on patrol, I guess, and he'll turn around and...
Before you leave, I would like everyone to make a... actually, you know what? No, you don't need to make a roll. This is Cypher system. You only roll when you have to. Before you turn around, you catch a glimpse of something, a glimmer. As you catch this glimmer, Octavia, you notice it as well, like, as you're looking down at the baby. Seydlitz, you're standing back towards the end of the group. Corax, you know, hands still kind of on the book, but all looking in this general direction. You see a glimmer, and perhaps it is a source of flickering light, a flame, perhaps, reflecting off metal or something. That's what you think at first, but you look, and there's something floating just above this baby's head. A symbol is just traced in the air and just hangs there. Corax, you believe in the old gods. Your family prays to the old gods. This is a nimbus. This is a symbol of the divine. This is, without a doubt, a divine child that you just helped bring into this world.
Corax would... He would probably move closer, and look to Dreschen as he... The child is the divine one, not us. And he would probably go to one knee before them.
Mm-hmm. Corax, roll me a difficulty 3 divine knowledge check. Knowledge of godly beings would apply here.
That's the one we set up. So difficulty 3. Success.
So you do. You say, this is a divine child, not us. Perhaps everything that has gone on is shooken you more than you had anticipated. Obviously, you just survived the collapse of a keep, the onslaught of mental and physical capacity, and as you kneel before this child, you looking at it, looking from Dreshen to the child, you see just past the child, and you see Octavia, who is crouched, looking over the child as well. And faintly glimmering into existence, there's a symbol hovering above Octavia's head. It is a nimbus.
He would snap his head around to look to Seydlitz and Mina as well.
As soon as your head snaps to the side, you see that same shimmer above each of their heads, and the recognition dawns on you that unless someone wants you to see a nimbus, the only other people that can see them are the divine.
He would drop his head slightly forward. Oh, shit. Maybe you're right, Dreshen. And he would look to the others. If anyone else can see the symbol, the nimbus above the child's head, you all have one.
And as the three of you look around, you each see a slightly glowing nimbus, although faint, above each of your heads and the child's head. And I think, though a few minutes early, that is the perfect way to end episode 2 of The Rise. So, I hope you've enjoyed this adventure thus far, as we now have 5 new fledgling gods in this world. But that is it. That is it for us here on The Rise. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here, talk about whatever happened in this show, the insanity that I did not plan for. Yeah, that's going to be really fucking cool. So we'll start with top left for me. Snow, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Snowdogs or Norm. You can find me on all the socials under Snowdogs. And other than that, just lurking around Discord.
Okay, perfect. We'll jump right across. Rose, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
I'm Rose. You can find me as Mrs. Make You Mad on all forms of social media, but I'm typically on TikTok and Mike's Discord. So find me there.
Facts. We'll go right down. DE, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Where you can find me on the internet. I'm not on most social medias, though I am looking into getting a parlor of all things.
Ooh.
And you can find me mostly on Mike's Discord, being the resident contrarian.
It's true.
Mike, anyone is there can vouch to that. Just the resident. But that's where you can find me. I still haven't thought about the parlor account name yet, so I'll put that out there when I feel like making it.
Sure. And last but not least, Necro, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I'm Chris, aka Necro. You can find me in the Discord, Mike's Discord, links in chat. Next week, back here for more Patreon awesomeness.
That's true. Yeah,
that is right. We have next week.
Next Saturday, we have 2 back-to-back Patreon one-shots. One is going to be Call of Cthulhu, run by Iquin, and the other one is going to be Coriolis, run by me, I guess. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us, having a good-ass time, and I hope you enjoyed the show. But with that being said, enjoy the rest of your weekends. We'll see you next time. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.